good evening. As always, we are just outside of Boston, Massachusetts, and this is Just a Concerned Citizen with the Massalorian, and we are about to go live with all of you right now. All right. We should be good, T.
What's up, my man?
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing swell, I guess. Almost got taken out by a random SUV on my run today, though.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You almost got taken out?
Yeah, man. I broke two of my cardinal rules, Johnny. I do either like off roads or in the neighborhood, somewhere relatively safe from traffic. But I like to change up the route every now and then. So this particular day, this afternoon, I ended up on the frontage road of a major highway just right outside my neighborhood. And the only sidewalk was going the same direction as traffic. So I had a half mile maybe on that sidewalk to get back to my neighborhood. And damn if a freaking white SUV didn't hop the curb right behind me, like literally almost ran right into me. Luckily, he didn't make it all the way over the curb, but he lost control as he weaved back into his lane. And he was going about 45 miles an hour. No warning. I never would have had time to dodge it. No brakes, nothing. Just I hear a car hopping the curb right over my back left shoulder.
My goodness. That's crazy.
Other than that little scare, great day. I don't think I'll be doing that route again, let me tell you.
I hope not. No, definitely stay out of there, huh? Stay out of that neighborhood.
I was joking with my Discord. I said, I think one of my haters geolocated my phone, but their driver's license, they weren't rated for curb hopping.
No, clearly not. What kind of SUV did you say it was?
I've got a picture of it that I put on Twitter. But I had my phone in my hand by the time I got it up. He was already a quarter mile down the road. It wasn't like a big Suburban. It was a mid-size SUV.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're still with us.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my eye out for white SUVs also on my runs from now on.
I guess so. Yeah, you better. You gotta be careful. How long do you normally run for? What type distance do you do?
I've been doing 5 miles a day or every other day. Now I'm not running 5 miles because I'm only 10 days into it. So I'm doing intervals, like half-mile intervals, partly running, partly walking till my heart rate returns.
Okay. You taking it easy on your heart?
Well, I mean, look, I've run 10Ks before, but not in a long time. So I'm just basically starting from zero. So the very first day I ran, I couldn't even run 1/10 of a mile, period. Now I'm doing about 2/10 of a mile every half mile for 5 miles. So I'm building back up. It's gonna, the short-term goal is run 1 mile, and then you just build on that and add to it.
Okay. So how long do you think it would take you to get back into the shape that you would need to run 10K?
3 months at least. Yeah, I'm taking it slow. No, there's nothing wrong with my heart or my cardio other than just having been a couch potato. It's always a pain in the ass. The first 2 weeks starting back up. You want to quit every day. You want to quit, but you just can't quit. Just keep doing it.
Yeah, gotta stay on top of it, right? Let's say hey to some people. Well, I'm glad you're alive, T.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
I don't know what I would do without you.
FTX. What does this say? FTX Risk Management
Department. 2022.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Where'd you get that from?
Amazon. I just saw it on Twitter and thought it was funny.
I like it. All right, people in the chat tonight, we got Bill Bib Devo, Backyard Boogie, Anya T. How you doing tonight? Trevor, good evening. Udib Dutta, Danny Young, my girl, is in the chat. Apes Blazing does stuff. Liked your shirt. Struggle Within. Gorilla Gardner, Aaron Miller, G Immortal. What's going on, my brother? Z's in the house. Andrew Francesi, Anya T, Matt, Cujo Sandlot, Wedmore. How you doing tonight? Jesse, Melt Up, Landon. Trying to get Ape Name Roscoe. I'm getting down there to the catching up. John's Touchpad, Captain Caveman. Make sure I shouted everyone out. Kryptonian Diaz, what's up, brother? Diaz is in the chat tonight. And I will catch up to questions. Don't worry. I will catch up to questions. KL Season Curlies. How is everyone doing tonight? So there's a couple things. T, I don't know. What did you put in your thumbnail tonight? What is it that you were kind of thinking about for subject matter? Because I know I have something I want to talk about.
I just put late night chat because I'm so sick and tired of talking about everything.
Okay.
Whatever you want to talk about. I'm just here to hang out and assist as needed. Okay.
Can I play a clip from you from another YouTuber, and can we just talk about it after we watch it?
Absolutely.
It's like maybe 2 minutes. And I hope this YouTuber is not going to get mad that we're using this clip, but honestly, I could probably from many channels. But this is someone who I respect his opinion, and I understand where he's coming from. But I want to talk about something else in the comments up. So let me pull this up. Let's play it and watch it, and then we can talk about it, and chat can talk about it. And I hope this person understands that this is not any kind of attack on anyone. I just want to talk about what is being. It's important, right? All right, let me close.
Well, let's see what you got.
Make sure you have nothing open. That's
by the way, I'm drinking water for anybody monitoring my macros. This is water.
Okay.
Magnesium,
and I have
magnesium and adaptogen sparkling water.
And I got root beer. A&W off on the draft. All right. I'm going to play this up, and it's 3 minutes and 56 seconds, but probably in the first 2 minutes, we're going to have everything we need to do. And then I want to talk about what's said.
Appreciate everything that you're doing. Your information be informative. Look, I think any AMC influencer that get upset with retail investors and shareholders because they trying to expose Aron, the 1%ers and the hedge funds for what they doing to shareholders and retail investors. I think if you that type of influencer, I think you stupid, and I don't have no respect for you. You understand what I'm saying? Do you not understand, man, that it's allegations out there that Aron has helped himself and these 1%ers make millions and billions of dollars off of shareholders and retail investors? They made those millions and billions of dollars off our back. You see what I'm saying? You know, by doing things that they shouldn't have been doing, that's questionable and suspect behind our back. See what I'm saying? Do you not understand it? The ones that's supporting him. And see, look, how can you be so ignorant and how can you be so insensitive to not understand why retail investors are doing what they're doing and why they feel the way they feel? I don't get it. And see, man, these short sellers, these billionaire hedge funds, man, they could have covered earlier in our short squeeze play. Earlier. It would have cost them some money, but it wouldn't have been nowhere catastrophic the way that it is now. But why would they cover? When they see, when it comes to our short squeeze play, they knew that they was going to be able to make billions. You understand what I'm saying? They knew that they was going to be able to use they short seller business model. They knew that they was going to be able to use stock market manipulation, corruption, everything else, cryptocurrency tokens. They knew that they was going to be able to do all those things to make billions of dollars off us because, for one, they knew the powers to be wasn't going to do anything to them. Two, they knew Aron wasn't going to do anything to him. They knew the board wasn't going to be able to do anything to him. So they felt.
Okay. So I didn't want to let that run too long, but I've seen this, and maybe I've seen it more on Twitter recently than on YouTube per se. But it seemed like Frankie was talking to specific YouTubers in that clip. I don't know who, and I'm not even trying to speculate on who, but I think that in this time right now, since the litigation has come about, there's a lot of mixing here as far as the difference between what the market is doing and what Aron is doing. I think people are kind of making those two things seem as one when I don't think that they are, right? And what I mean by that is, do I think that Aron has pandered to retail, done some things in roundabout ways in order to prop up his company and his bank account and helping him, achieve whatever goals he needs to achieve in order to hit his bonuses and whatever, all that aside, right? But what the market is doing to AMC as a stock, I think those two things we really gotta. I think they're getting too wrapped in and intertwined with each other. When I don't know if Aron, listen, you don't have to agree with everything he's done, but is he working along with the people who are using PFOF and rehypothecation of shares? See, that's where I kind of get lost on this. And so it may sound like I'm trying to defend Aron, when in reality, what I'm really saying is I think Aron is making the best out of what he has, the cards he has to play with, considering the market conditions. And that, we just currently came into a little bit of a bull run, right? In the market overall. I mean, we've been in a bear market for a year now. No? Am I missing that? Or is that correct? That we've been in a bear market for just recently, for the last year or so, we've been in a bear market, right?
Are you asking me or the audience?
Yeah. Yeah, you.
I was hoping you were asking the audience. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say on this mess.
Oh,
God. I heard him say he's doing stuff behind our back, but everything is covered in SEC filings. First of all, the financial statements, the creation of APE, the Antara deal. There's nothing that's been behind your back. It's all been disclosed in SEC filings. The other thing is we had a massive price run up well beyond the valuation of the company when it ran up to the 70s back in June of 2021. I think that would be hard to dispute, although a lot would disagree. I don't know, what financial models they're using to justify value, right? Anybody who has any experience in finance or accounting could easily tell you the company was not worth $40, $50, $70. We were buying it in 2021 in hopes of squeezing the shorts, and we didn't really care about fundamentals, and we had $2 billion in the bank. But as time ticks on and those second squeeze came, then the fundamentals start mattering more and more because the cash is getting drawn down and the company is losing money, and it's still losing money. And eventually things return to their fundamental norm, which is close to where we're at right now. That's just how the market works. Like you were saying in your comment, Adam's doing the best he can to create additional revenue sources while we're waiting on Hollywood to get enough movies out to be profitable across this massive fleet of theaters, as I learned that they call them by reading that discovery. They call it a fleet. We got to wait for Hollywood to catch up, and until then, we're going to be shorted, just like any other company that is losing money is going to be shorted. You got to understand the field you're playing on whenever you get in these plays.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, listen, the market is a gamble always. Not everyone is playing by the rules. And we're going to have to continue to adjust and adapt as this goes along. So
hashtag evolve. That is what I'm going with.
yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, something on those something on those lines. Honestly, like at this point now, we need to stop. I think like all the name calling and finger pointing and everything in the world at this point is null and void as soon as the judge stamps a decision on this adjudication, right? I mean, as soon as that happens, then we're all going to have to get on the same page, correct? I mean, at that point, there's no going back. There's no redo. We got to start thinking about what are the next 4 or 5 steps to get us back into a short squeeze, or, however this thing's going to play out. We need to start trying to plan that out, right? We are a massive part of the retail ownership of this company. And, I want to be prepared for what's coming next after the next, after we get some final decision from the judge. So I just think we need to start talking about that more and stop. And I'm not going to say bitching or whining, because listen, everyone's got plenty of reason out there to be upset about things that are happening in the marketplace, right? I mean, there's a million things, we could start anywhere and ramble off a number of things that we find inappropriate that are going on with the market, right? But we need to start thinking and getting a little more focused, I think, on, okay, so what are the next steps then? Let's just suppose that they say everything Aron did was legit, even if you think he's the biggest scumbag on the planet. If the judge decides, listen, in my eyes, this is good enough, I'm going to put this settlement through, then, at that point, you're going to have to make a call. And, either you believe in this company going forward and that the fundamentals can bring back around a short squeeze and get the conditions right again to do that, to replicate that, or you don't, right? It's really simple. It seems as soon as that decision comes through, you're going to have to make a call one way or the other. And anything that's happening right now, I mean, all those letters had to be in, right? So all the objections to the settlement, those all had to be in. The judge is looking at those right now, right, T? If I know correctly, is that correct?
Yep. Judge,
Okay.
special master. Yep. Prosecution. Sorry, the plaintiff.
Right.
Plaintiff. One of those P words.
But that doesn't mean that we can't still have a massive short squeeze on AMC or GME. Either one of those can pop at any time. We've seen what they do. We know how the volatility and how the market reacts when there's big news on those stocks. So right now, I'm trying to stay focused on what is going to bring us back to replicating those market conditions. Anything other than that is really a waste of our time right now, right? Don't you feel that way to an extent?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I don't. I'm trying to do my best, Mass, to explain to people why things are happening the way they're happening. I know it's not a popular message, and I'm certainly not apologizing or defending Adam Aron. I'm explaining financially, fundamentally, why the company is making the choices that they are to bolster up the balance sheet. And
Yep.
people don't like that message. I get it, but I've said many times, and you and I over the past couple of years have said many times, we're not going to decode tweets. We're not going to assign meaning that's not there, because his job is kind of a rah-rah man, right? To keep people engaged. You got to recognize that for what it is. Like, be emotionally intelligent enough to not assign hidden meanings to stuff.
Yeah.
It's a cheerleading function, part of the CEO's job.
Yeah. And he has been like one of the top CEOs. I mean, if you look around at other companies that retail has a big, piece of that pie, who else is running around doing that stuff? There is no one, right? So I just think we're kind of getting off of the message here, and don't think that for a second I don't understand, right? I get where the frustration is coming from, But I also can see where Aron's frustration would have been back in 2020 when the stock was at $40 and we were all saying, you better not dilute, right? Like, imagine if he could have sold fucking 50 million shares back then and raised another 2 billion. And we had 4 billion right now, 4 billion to work with at the start of last year instead of 2, so I see that as him backing off and allowing that first pump to happen, right? From 8 to 72. That wouldn't have happened probably if he had started to dilute back then. If it had gone to actual vote and the shareholders had said, yes, he could have raised that 2 billion, but more than likely, I think he knew no would be the answer, which hence why he went and said, we're going to hold off. We're not going to do any dilution until 2023. And then, Ape started getting into the, as we've seen now through Discovery, Ape started getting talked about, right? About that time, they started trying to discuss a game plan going forward of how we can get our hands on some more capital without raising too many alarms and also keeping, retail spheres quelled as much as possible, right? Is that
Even
what you
if
kind of get?
even if it was going to be a yes that was going to win, because I see people saying, oh well, he said that it was going to be a yes, but he still pulled the vote. Why? All right, let's just go with that for a second. What if it was going to be a yes that was going to win back in 2021? The big problem is that he needs 50% of the outstanding shares plus 1 to get that to go through.
Yeah.
And retail doesn't show up. I mean, historically, the last 3 years, it's been like 28%, 30%, 35%. He's not getting the amount of votes he needs to increase the shares. That's why he pulled the vote.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I don't like a lot of things that Aron has done, but now, like at this point, if you really want to talk about a short squeeze and a play or anything to do with that, we got to start thinking about what are the next couple moves that are going to be coming that are going to recreate that scenario for retail. And anything other than that is just simply a waste of everyone's time, right? Yelling at Aron, I think we all know that Aron has played retail very well. He's done a good job of keeping the shareholders engaged. And, even the ones that he seems to have turned against him are still holding their stock, most of them. So he's even been able to, manipulate in so far as the people who are upset at how he has responded to the $5 billion of debt, or, Ape or whatever it is that you want to be pissed at him about, those people are still holding. Most of them, I would think. So eventually, people, we got to start talking about solutions, and the problems are going to work themselves out one way or another in that courtroom, right? It's going to be out of our hands ultimately. It's going to be up to pretty much a judge and a couple people under her, right, T?
Yeah, and I mean, I keep up in social media with what people are saying, and they're already starting the message, Johnny, that the judge is corrupt, the special master is incompetent, all the courts are corrupt. Allegheny was paid off by Aron. There's going to be a whole new narrative once the settlement is approved. So just prepare yourself for it, everybody, because the 2,400 people that don't want this are already starting that narrative right now.
Yeah. Bigham's in the chat. What's up, Biggs? Bigham says, well, they in retail said they didn't want it. Was so close. He didn't want to push people away or lose the fan base or it's over. Yeah. Had that happened, he would have lost a huge part of the fan base, right? And where would we be sitting right now is the question, right? Where would we be sitting right now? We'd be in big trouble, right?
Without the Antara deal?
Yeah. Yeah. Or
we'd be sitting without the Antara deal, we'd be sitting with $16 million
$60
on
million
the balance
in the
sheet.
bank.
16 million.
Yeah. Yeah. So What T, explain to me the last couple of days. I've seen a lot of people on Reddit and Twitter talking about Ape being created back in 2020. What is that about? Can you explain to me
I'm
where?
going to say very plainly to these people, you can look at every 10Q or 10K and there's a description, and every prospectus, there's a description of the capital stock, either in a section called capital stock or in the income statement where it lists the authorized types and quantity of shares. There has never, until August 2022, been a filing with the Delaware Secretary of State to create any preferred shares. They created 10 million. They were authorized. They issued them in August of 2022. And you have to file paperwork with the Delaware Secretary of State and on Wall Street to get those, issued. So that's when that happened. And you can also look at the 10Qs back in 2020 and 2021 at all these activities that people are posting, what you're talking about, Johnny. You can see in each one of those quarterly filings that dividends and all of these things that they're posting were clearly paid only to AMC common stock. Now, people are getting confused because in 2022, in the 10K, the one that was filed at the beginning of this year, for whatever reason, and I'm sorry I don't have yet the accounting reason. I have a message into John Merriweather, but it's been 3 business days with no answer. For whatever reason, in the 2022 10K, those same tables that you can find in every 10Q prior to the 2022 10K, I'm talking back every quarter from 2020 till now.
Okay.
The same tables that showed only common stock. For some reason, in the most recent 10K, they restated it, same dollar amount, but they split it between common and ape. And I understand how that could be confusing.
That's what it looked like in the paperwork to me. That's what
it could be
what it looked like.
confusing if your first instinct is to throw out the last 3 years of filings, throw out the fact that Ape was legally created in August of 2022, and jump right into the conspiracy hot tub. If your first inkling is that everything is a conspiracy, it's easy to ignore every other shred of fact, data, and evidence.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you're not an accountant, and I'm not, you probably are making a bad assumption. And because I'm not an accountant, I can't give you yet the exact answer. If anybody is a CPA that can come and explain it before John Merriweather answers me, if he ever fucking does, come in and do it. But there is a logical reason why it was restated. Of that, I'm sure.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure. That's what it seemed like to me. As I was looking over, I was like, wait a minute now. If I was thinking of this in 2022, right when Ape was created, that's the way I'd be reading it. But okay, I understand what you're saying. So that makes sense. Okay. All right. Yeah, because I think that was important, right? That people understand he wasn't selling Ape units back in 2020. I mean, that is just fucking wrong.
They didn't exist. There were never any preferred shares issued, and you can find that in every 10Q up until August of 2022. And again, you can look at the tables 2021, 2020, 2020 and 2021 and see clearly it was paid only to common.
Okay.
The dividends
I
and the shit they're
understand.
talking about.
I understand how people would be confused by that, right? Makes sense.
I do too. I do too.
I get it. Yeah.
I
wish that everyone was just running to Reddit and Twitter though and being like, fucking apes back in 2020. Look at this shit. It's like, guys, calm down. Calm down. Let's read it. Take a step back for a second. Understand what you're reading, right? Before you go running to Twitter. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills sometimes.
Coxino says, don't hold your wad waiting for Merriweather. Yeah, I know. I've reached out to several people. Nobody's been able to give me an answer. They all just say, well, I'm not an accountant. You have to ask AMC's finance people why they wrote it up like that in the end of 2022. So ultimately AMC is the one that owes us the answer. I think it's a legitimate question that we could put a lot of unrest and uneasy feelings to bed with if they would ever fucking answer. But to jump into the conspiracy hot tub based on not having an answer, I think this is indicative of a very troubled part of retail that is not going to do well in the stock market when everything is a conspiracy. How about we look for the logical answer first before we just jump into that?
Man, that was a good explanation, T. Thank you. Because I feeling that that's exactly what was going on. I'm like, you know what though? If I try to put this in and write it out and talk about it, I bet T will just.
I haven't talked about it much yet because I
easily. Thank you.
Yeah,
but I knew
haven't
that's
talked
what.
About it. I haven't talked about it much yet because I like to come with the facts, and it's not that I haven't been working to try and get them, but you know, when I have the answer, I'm going to come with it, and it will be indefensible. You'll have the legit reason.
Yeah.
Until then, I'm just guessing like everybody else. I don't know the answer, but I know it's not what they're saying. Ape did not exist, period. Neither did any preferred shares before August 22. That I know for a fact.
Yeah. By the way, someone came over on the live stream the other night. When was the last time you live streamed ago, right? And I went on later in the evening, I think. Someone came over and said, I just left Tony DeNaro's live stream, and he wouldn't tell me what's going to happen after the reverse split conversion.
How the fuck do I know what's going to happen?
I said, wait a minute. So you came over to this channel for me to tell you what's going to happen?
I don't know what's going to happen. I know I answered one question where someone said, what should I buy right now? I was like, fuck if I know. Everything that you buy right now has its own set of risks.
Yeah. Yeah.
For a variety of reasons.
You could say that across 40,000 tickers right now.
I know, but like Ape, if you're buying Ape right now, you have legal uncertainty, right? You have the uncertainty of Antara's still got 139 million, and they're clearly selling them. So you got that overhang to worry about. If you're trying to play the arbitrage, those are risks that you can't ignore. And if you're buying AMC, you got the opposite issue. You got the negative side of the arbitrage play. So that's a risk. But on the AMC side, it's got higher short interest. So how do I tell? First of all, I don't tell people what to do. And second of all, even if I did, I'm not going to, because no matter what I tell you, there's a 50-50 chance that it's not going to be right. And I'm not going to have people come back and try and blame me. Do your own DD, assess the risks, make your own choices.
Grandpa Barney, by the way, Grandpa Barney's in the chat saying that he bailed on Twatter, too toxic. Grandpa Barney, you find in Twatter too toxic for the AMC community, Grandpa Barney, or across the board, like with everything? I'm curious. Let's see. Jerry says people are way too sensitive. So much for trading without emotions. Michael Furbury says, why are you with this guy, dude? I can't believe both of you guys are paid off.
What'd he say?
Oh, God. Michael Furbury said, why are you with this guy, dude? I can't believe both of you guys
Is he saying that about me? I'm going to state again, I am not paid by anybody. It would be a SEC crime for me not to disclose if I'm being paid.
Yeah, we would go fucking right to jail, bro.
You are listening to emotional, whiny, clickbait crybabies pushing FUD because they don't want you to hear facts, fundamentals, and financial statements. I'm not paid by anybody. So
they need clicks, T.
And I know exactly who's saying it, and they're a bunch of fucking... No, I'm going to be nice.
Okay.
It's blatant lies. It's blatant lies.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I mean, if AMC was paying me off, I would barely barely give a shit about anything else right now.
The thing that gets
I would
me
be
upset,
collecting my check and to hell with everyone else.
you know what gets
What?
me upset, Mike? People that put information out with just talking to the camera, never show you anything, just ask questions to get you upset and scared. I wonder why Adam Aron said he has 8 million shares when I can't find it. How about you go fucking look? How about you go fucking look instead of putting out FUD? That's another one I had to bust today. It's like you're listening to a bunch of people that don't know what the F they're talking about. And the fact that I provide evidence and documents and clear explanations, that makes people mad. And so every time I provide facts or documents, their only response is to smear and insult. They have no answer to my DD because there is no answer.
I just don't have time for nonsense right now. Like I just don't have time for it, T. I mean, I don't know how you find the time to answer some of these things. I'm glad you do. I'm glad that you're able to at least have a response. But yeah, man, I my hat's off to you because I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to handle it. I'm looking for Grandpa to see if he answered me about what twatter he thinks is toxic. If it's the whole thing.
And by the way, while I'm pissing people off, the settlement's going to go through.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not because the court's corrupt, but because people just simply don't understand the legal process or what this case is about. They're objecting to a lot of things that are not part of this case, bringing up things that the court doesn't care about or doesn't have jurisdiction over. All that's going to be pushed aside. The judge is going to address the settlement and the arguments made in the filing by the plaintiffs, and that's going to be it. She'll decide on that.
Grandpa Barney wanted a Doxino in the house, I think. Yeah, T, I think you're right about that. And look, if that's what happens, then again, it's back to what I kind of want to talk about. Like, okay, what are the next 5 steps then that are going to happen after that, right? What are we going to be looking towards? Because we need to start figuring out where's the market going to be at that time. You know, is there a Fed rate hike coming in that point? All these different things, right? They're going to affect the price action in this window that we're going to have. So that's why I'm saying the more that we sit there and I see the videos coming out about, you know, Adam Aron, the snake and everything else. Okay, that's all fine and dandy. I understand all of it. Eventually the judge is going to make a call on this and you fucking better be ready and know what you're going to do, what moves you're going to make after that decision drops. That's all I'm saying. Just be ready, people. Understand this can go either way. I just want to make sure people understand that.
What's up, Bigums? I just saw him and I wanted to say hello real quick. Hey, Bigums, when's the last time you and I talked on the phone?
One saying I love your shirt, by the way.
I was laughing at all the fudsters. You know, they have their little telephone gang so they can all pop out videos at the same time, and they think that all of us, me, you, Bigums, Boss, Scavenger, all talk all the time. Massalorian,
I haven't talked to you in a week.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Mass in a week. He's the only one that I've ever talked to on the phone, period. And these other guys, maybe once every 2 months, I send them a hello or a nice post. We don't share DD. I don't like getting my DD from other people. Bigum's got his own channel of stuff he talks about. I've got my stuff that I talk about. Massalorian's got his little silo. But we can tell when the Shield Team 6 is all getting fed their information from their leader and they all rush out the same videos. It's very transparent.
I don't know. By the way, I just think that I want to say this last final thing to all the people out there who are making those videos that are upset and pissed at Adam Aron. You know, this wasn't to rag on Frankie or anything like that. I hope everyone understands that. I just needed an example of you know, a fellow shareholder who's upset about the way this whole thing is going down, and to be able to understand what his argument is accept it and then start to move forward, right? Okay,
I
I
actually
got you.
I appreciate Frankie, along with people like AB and Owning the Float, that they can have their
Yes.
own opinion and voice it in a respectable way without tearing people down. And I empathize with his viewpoint. But obviously, clearly, since I'm looking at things from a financial perspective now, I don't agree with a lot of the stuff he says, but at least he does it in a respectable way.
Yeah. 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 Me too. And if his video pops up in my queue, I'll watch it, right? I'll listen to what he has to say because I want to continually be I want to be continually to understand the other side of this play, because the decisions some of these people are going to make are going to affect the price on this, right? So, keep an eye on what everyone's doing is all I'm saying. Try to get in a feeling, try to reach out and get a feeling for what the community is saying, and that will help you maybe to understand. That could be part of the reason why right now we're seeing kind of a depression in the stock, right? Since this whole thing has kind of come into this phase with the lawsuit, and everything with the court. I mean, we haven't had a lot of price action, if you've noticed, right? It's been very silent for the last few months. No major pushes to the upside or downside. But I think once we start getting closer, I just hope people are ready for what's, possibly going to happen. That's all. And we'll look back and say, man, I wish I had been prepared for this. And, your other positions, I'm talking about everything, right? Not just AMC or GME or any small cap, shorted stock right now. I'm talking about with your long-term holds, your crypto, everything. Just be ready for whatever's coming down the pike, because something's coming. Believe it, something's coming. I don't know if we're going to have a massive rug pull or if this is going to bull run up until the. I have no idea what's going to happen. It seems like we need, in order for us, look, someone was saying the other day, it's very hard to run up inflation in a depression, right? And right now, we are trying to get a handle on inflation, which is almost impossible. And we just signed another, the debt ceiling just got signed, a new debt, $4 trillion with like an unlimited cap under that. You know, that's not, these aren't good things that we have. It's hard to, like the guy, this person was making the point. It is hard to inflate when we're in a major recession. So I think be on the lookout for something to pump up the economy. And I have a video clip that I didn't get a chance to upload. I will play it tomorrow. But there was someone who was talking about something that we might see very soon that would be excellent to prop up the economy. At the same time, getting rid of inflation. And I'll hold that video clip because I didn't have time to cut it before we came on, T. Do you mind taking it over for me 1 sec while I run to the bathroom?
Not at all. Not at all.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm going to put up a comment for you. Apes Blazing Stuff says, all my crypto is offline right now. Rest in peace, Binance in Canada. You want to talk? I don't know. Maybe something about that, T, but all right.
All right. Throw up any questions you guys have. I'll take a couple. He left up on the screen for me to talk about my girl just got home. Andrew. Blazing. So Blazing, our Binance got shut down in Canada too. I've been kind of peripherally watching what's going on with the crypto stuff. I've offloaded most of mine back when Coinbase very first started having their issue. Gosh, how many months ago was that now? So I'm very light on crypto, and what I do have is in my cold wallet. Did the hedgie that tried to run over me have a frog or look like Uncle Fester. Unfortunately, it happened so quickly and they were going so damn fast, and they came up behind me. You know, he literally hopped the curb right next to me, and then he is gone straight down the access road. So it's a fast 3-lane access road to get onto the highway. And he almost lost control after hitting the curb. So it would have been nice to see who was driving. Maybe they were drunk. Maybe it was someone I know. Wink, wink. But I don't know. I did not get to see a face. Our Baglio says, where do I see the SPY going higher or lower? I am uncertain. I'm not going to be making any SPY videos. If I thought I knew where it was going, I'd be buying options on it. So the day you hear me start talking about that again, where I can wake up and have some relative certainty that I know what's going to happen, then I will start doing that. Until then, I'll leave that to the real degenerate gamblers. There's just so much freaking unknowns going on right now with the economy, inflation, the Ukraine war. I'm not trying to play the SPY. Zeno says it was Adam Aron trying to run me off the road. Maybe so. The new swap rule, I need to read that, Foo Dog. It is a good question. I know what you're talking about. Haven't read through the rule yet. I'll put that on my agenda for tomorrow. Broke Ape. Yeah, that's a good, actually a good topic for video. Levels of support and resistance. Yeah, I can do that. Best Music says we need an independent audit of our books. We do have an independent auditor. We have a firm that audits the books. Was it Antifa that? Yeah, I wasn't wearing a hat. No, there was no MAGA hats. Although in Austin, you got a MAGA sign or a MAGA hat, you're going to be accosted.
Okay. I think I'm back.
You're back.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Best Music says someone not associated with AMC. I mean, Ernst & Young is not associated with AMC. It's a third party, internationally known audit firm. Pretty much whichever top 3 accounting firm you pick, which, all the big corporations are going to use one of the top firms. They're all going to have their little skeletons in the closet if you dig deep enough. The purpose of having an accounting firm is to independently audit the books. So what you're asking for is there. I get it. You don't like Ernst & Young, but, propose to the board a different one, but all of them are going to have their own skeletons and their own fines and shit like that. It just comes with the territory. Ernst & Young is not associated with AMC. They're hired by AMC. Mash, you were back and now you're gone. Now he's back again. Bryce says, can you explain why I had to email E-Trade to get my proxy? I don't know, Bryce. The brokers were not responsible for sending out Wait, the proxy. Sorry, the proxy. Sorry, I got confused for a second. I just read in my brain postcard. No, I can't explain that. That'd be a good question to ask them. Why are you having to email them to ask for the proxy?
T, can you hear me?
OTF in the house. What's up, amigo? Yeah, I can hear you, Mass.
I'm gonna reboot real quick. 1 sec, okay? Because I'm having everything slow on this side. I can't pull up the chat or anything. I'm gonna reboot for 1 second. All right.
All right. James says, I think a lot of people will sell after the reverse split. That's definitely something everybody should be thinking about. The risk of that happening. Mike, happy birthday to your daughter, by the way, owning the float. I think he told me that his daughter's birthday was today. Do I think that Aron dilutes as soon as we reverse, or does he wait? That is the $20,000 question, right? I don't know. And there's a lot of timing things that are going to be happening around the same time. We got the upcoming shareholder meeting. We got the judge's written opinion. We got Q2 earnings. We got everything hitting around the same time. How are all those pieces going to fall in together? Where are the dates going to line up? How good is Q2 going to be? If I was Aron, what I would want is for the reverse split and conversion to be approved before I announce Q2 earnings. And then I would want Q2 to be an upside surprise, so that the reverse split and conversion are out of the way, and whatever happens, happens. You got a smaller float. You have the ability to dilute if you want to. And then you drop the Q2 news, and it's a surprise, right? Assuming that it is a surprise to the upside. Then you get potentially some upward price momentum in the stock, and you sell your dilution into that. Will that kill the run at some point? Yes, obviously. But that is, if you watch my CEO handbook video, the little comedy sketch that I did, I think that is chapter 3. This is a very common tactic of corporations to sell dilution into good news if they have it available, if the shelf is filed. So that's what I would anticipate, and that's what I would be hoping would be the order of events if I was Aron. I'm sure he would prefer to sell into good news rather than just sell while nothing's happening or on bad news. The other thing we don't know, is he going to do it at the market, just to the general public out in the market, like he did with some of the ape, or is he going to do a private placement with an institution like he did with ape? He could have both of those options available to him too. He could do one, the other, or both, just like he did with ape. A lot of unknowns. Doesn't AMC have to wait 2 weeks before they can sell per the Antara contract? I think that all of those dates that were telling people when they could and couldn't sell, don't quote me on this, but I think that they were all tied to the vote happening in March, and that 2 weeks was essentially the end of March. I don't think that there's any date tying anybody down at this point. If I'm wrong, go find the document and tell me. I could be wrong, but pretty sure I'm right. 5th birthday owning the float. Congratulations. I see y'all chatting. I'm trying not to comment on it. What other burning questions do you got? Oh, all right. So we talked about the 8 million shares. I provided the evidence of Adam having, I'll call it exposure. Look, he's been granted these awards. They're in the incentive plan. They've been allocated. Not all of them are vested yet. He has over 8 million shares of APE and AMC combined. That is a fact. The other question been floating around for weeks: are the executives' common stock in their bonuses and stuff going to reverse split? 100%, absolutely. There's no magic bean common stock that doesn't get reverse split. Everything is common stock. That's it. It's common stock. Every single share of it, including the ones that the executives have vested and unvested, will split 1 for 10. I mean, I don't know what to say other than trust me, bro, but this is basic stock market accounting finance 101. The fact that anyone would even ask that question is astonishing to me, plainly speaking. Now, there are times I have seen, like with, remember Hellbiz, MCOM, I think it is now. There are times where the CEO, like Mr. What's his name, Palella, own preferred shares. And I've seen in proxy statements where they say the common's going to reverse split up to 1 to 50, and the preferred could reverse split at a different ratio. I've seen that in proxy statements, and that's some bullshit. That's some absolute bullshit. That is a CEO potentially setting himself up not to reverse split the same amount, but they have to disclose it in the proxy, and it would be a different series or a different type of share. Now, to his credit, when Hellbiz split, he did split the common and the preferred the same, but we were calling that out when it was happening as bullshit. Like, heads up to investors, red flag here. And if I saw that going on with AMC, I'd be red flagging it exactly the same way. But all we have is common and ape. They'll all be AMC, they'll all be common. They will all split 1 for 10. Bill A says, is it bullish or bearish that Antara selling ape? Another great question, Bill A. Another question that we talk about daily in our little Discord chat groups. I have a mixed answer for you. On the one hand, at least they're selling it slowly, so they're not tanking the price. It's very clear what they're doing, right? They got in at about an average. If you look at all their whole deal, their average price is about 82 cents. If you go back and find my video, I know everybody has different numbers, but I created a spreadsheet and put it up there for you guys. It's around 82 cents. So if they're selling at $1.60, they're essentially doubling their money. Of course, they've sold it higher than that when it got ran up in these little FOMO blips, when we thought that the lawsuit was a done deal. And if it runs up over $1.60 to $2.53, I think you're going to see them sell even more higher quantities. But they have legal uncertainty. They've got market and economic uncertainty, and I think they're trying to take their risk off the table. Little by little, day by day. It's no secret they're selling, and they are pinning the price at $1.63. Every time it goes up there, boom, you can see they sell $1.63, 62, 61, 60. This is no secret. Anybody that's watching the Forum Forest. So they've got around 139 million left now, probably a little less. I think we'll get another Form 4 next week showing they have a little less. And you can expect that for the rest of this month, they're going to keep doing that. Few million a day. The volume's thin. They can't unload a lot without tanking the price. So retail's probably buying it up. I see a lot of people posting on Twitter, just bought more ape, just bought more ape. Yeah, they're selling it to you. And what's the final outcome of that going to be? Well, some of us have our theories, right? That the conversion is going to be somewhere around $26, $30 afterwards. And theoretically, if you're buying ape for $1.60 and you get that step up in price, that there's some profit potential there. I can't promise you that, but that's one theory that a lot of people are playing on right now. And we think that Antara will hold a pretty big chunk going into the conversion to play that same theory. Now, do I know that for a fact? I do not. We'll just have to keep track of what they have at the end of June. Clearly they're selling every day, offloading the risk, pocketing 100% gain. Best Music says, could Adam have only converted 525 million ape at a time? He had 1 billion, right? So when they filed the paperwork with the Delaware Secretary of State back in August of 2022, they had 50 million preferred. They issued on that date in August 10 million. You hear people saying, I still hear it today, there's 5 billion ape. There were never 5 billion ape. They issued 10 million preferred. That's it. Stop, hard stop. There was a maximum available of 1 billion ape. He gave shareholders half of them. He had about another 500 million he could sell, and all of those are sold now. Ape is done. There is no 4 billion more ape sitting out there unless we get a filing that he issued more preferred. Right now, he's sitting with 40 million preferred authorized but unissued. And the vote that we did back in March snuck in there at the bottom. We'll reset it. The preferred will be reset back to 50 million authorized. Hopefully that answered your question. It does look like I have antenna ears, doesn't it? I hope Mass can get back in. I don't even know how you do that. How do you reboot your computer in the middle of a stream and get back into a live? Let me see if he texted me. He says it's buffering nonstop. Can't even get the home screen to load. Well, shit. That's exactly what I answered him. Well, shit. Reboot again. Table Rock says, I hate looking at two different tickers for one investment. You and me both. Matt says he'd rather see Antara sell now than after the split. Yeah, I don't know if I finished my my thought process, but thank you for the memory jog there. Whatever the overhang is, whatever Antara has, whether they have 100 million, 50 million, 139 million, on the day we convert, I think it's fair to guess that they don't intend to be a long-term holder of AMC stock, right? So after the conversion, I think we're all thinking alike on the same wavelength that they're probably going to sell it. Now, the question for everybody to think about, are they likely to dump it all in one day and crater the price? I don't think so. I don't. They've shown restraint in selling it slowly as ape. And could they just dump it? Yeah, they could. Absolutely. Or will they show restraint and try and meter it out as a percentage of the daily volume and capture, whatever profits they can? They've already made their money. Whatever they get at this point is just bonus. So I would hope that if their plan is to sell it, I hope that they do it in a reasonable, slow fashion. But I can't promise you that they're going to do that. Robert AMC, what's up? We are doing well. I appreciate the kind thoughts. Paul says they're buying August $2 and $3 puts. Yeah, I saw that too. I'm actively trying to decode that, but I don't have any good answers other than the obvious ones that you're thinking. Talk about the GME dump and the canceled earnings. Yeah. We did a live stream that night and talked about it briefly. I mean, the analyst predictions are kind of pessimistic for GameStop because they are not expecting them to book back to back profitable quarters. So that's why you see price targets out there $6 to $9. And what's going to happen with GameStop, I can't tell you either. I really want to hear from Ryan Cohen, but it was kind of odd to me that on the day of earnings that you just dropped this announcement that Matt Furlong got terminated as CEO and that he resigned from the board. I know he had a 2-year contract. They chose not to renew it. That was essentially a termination. I'm not making any conspiracy theories that he's being sent over to Bye Bye Baby or anything like that. I think Ryan Cohen just wasn't happy with his performance, and so they opted not to renew his contract. What's going to happen next with GameStop? I mean, now we got 3 months to wait to see if they can cut enough costs to eke out a profitable quarter. They're going to live and die on fundamentals. That's it. It all comes down to fundamentals. They got barely any debt. They got a lot of cash. They got plenty of runway, plenty of time to figure it out, right? They're not at any risk of going bankrupt. But if they keep on booking negative quarters, the price is going to go down. If they are able to cut costs or figure out additional revenue streams, then and book a positive quarter, then you're going to see Wall Street support that stock. That's really what it comes down to. In the meantime, the volatility that you're seeing at the end of last week and for the next week, I would say don't read too much into it. You're going to know the direction of that stock in 10 to 14 days. I still have puts. I have puts that I bought the day of earnings, and I don't hold any GameStop at the moment. If it hits 15 to 18, that's my buy-in range. Come on, Massalorian, you can do it. Get that shit figured out. Broke Ape, I can't answer you about Oracle because that is not a stock that I follow. Yeah, I suggested to him to reboot the modem and the computer, so we'll give him 5 more minutes. Singlog, is it? Oh, Sir Glog, sorry. I guess I'm getting old. Sir Glog says, once the short C, AMC is not going bankrupt, they will slowly close. I mean, that's the fundamentalist theory, right? If you can fix the balance sheet. Now, I'm not one out here beating the drum that Adam Aron's going to pay off all the debt. I do not think he's going to dilute, get money in the bank, and pay off all the debt. I do not think that he's going to do that. But just the fact of getting cash on the balance sheet improves the balance sheet and shows Wall Street that this company has another, hopefully 2 years of lifeline to get profitable. I think that is the plan. Could he do other things with it? Use it to buy competitive theaters? Yeah, I mean, he has a lot of options. I would prefer that he be a good steward of the money and keep it there in case we need it until we know we're in the clear and we know that we're booking profitable quarters in 2024 or whatever year it ends up being. Knock on wood, hopefully 2024. Back-to-back green. You got a good balance sheet and you're posting back-to-back profitable quarters, it's a much less desirable short target. Then the only thing they're going to have to bitch about is, well, he's still got that $5 billion in debt. Yeah, but when you're in the green, you can start knocking that down, chipping it off. Yeah, I'm not drinking, still not drinking. I'm down. I've been stuck, Patriot, I weighed in this morning at 5.5 pounds down. So I've been stuck at that 5 pound range. And next weekend is kind of like, I said 2 weeks to lose 10 pounds. So I'm a little bit over halfway there. We're halfway in my short time frame. So no drinks except water. And I enjoy drinking water, but when I'm hanging out with you guys in the evenings, I enjoy having a drink too. Just, I don't need the extra calories right now. Look, if I'm out running, walking, interval training 5 miles a day, it's silly to ruin that with 200, 300, 400 calories of alcohol, because that just may as well not even have run then. Yeah, as long as the interest rates are high and our bond prices are down, there's a good chance that if Adam has some cash in the bank, he can be selective about portions of the debt to pay off. I do not think he's going to pay it all off. And I hope that he doesn't. I'd actually be kind of pissed if he raised $2 billion and paid off $2 billion in debt and we're back in the same situation with no cash. That makes no sense to me. Foo Dog says more push-ups never hurt anyone. Yeah, I haven't got back under a barbell yet, and I'm not doing any other calisthenics like burpees or push-ups, pull-ups just yet. I'm going to be honest with you. Just doing the interval sprinting, jogging, running, walking. When you're starting back from zero, I am getting my entire body's sore. Abs, arms, back. Carrying my phone, I'm carrying my water bottle. It's kind of like a small dumbbell weight workout while I'm moving. I'm ready to be past that first 2 weeks of initial soreness and then get back in the gym and do some heavier stuff. Zelly Zen, what's up? We're waiting to see if Massalorian can get back in. He was having some technical difficulties. Pam the Trader, what's up, lady? Still out drinking at Applebee's. Have one for me, Pam. I had a big craving yesterday when my wife got home. I really, really, really wanted to take her out for a margarita. I was like, no, resist. Resist. But I think that will be my one of my first reward drinks. Grandpa says, I'd tell you about my morning, but I don't want to gross all the youngsters out. Go ahead and tell us, Grandpa. Entertain us while we're waiting on our buddy Johnny to try and get rebooted. Doc Zeno, what are you drinking tonight? And then every night my wife's pouring something like a Bailey's. And I just got to sit there. Today she came home from the grocery store. She's like, look at all these awesome granola bars I got. And I'm like, get away. I'm trying to do no carbs for 2 weeks. Get away, devil. Do I think we're in for market dip? Ayo. I still think there's a greater than 50% chance. Yes, sir. Let's see what the Fed does next with the next interest rate hike. That'll give me my next little thought. Anybody get caught by surprise with the fucking crypto dip? Motherfucks. Celtic coffee, Guinness, Irish whiskey shots times a million. That sounds lovely. Someone said Mass is buffering. I don't even think he's back up yet, is he? Yeah, he's trying to get his internet and computer working. He said he rebooted everything. He just texted me. Won't stop buffering. Rebooted twice. Can't get internet to connect. He's going to do some... I'm not talking to you, Siri.
Okay.
He says he's going to do some updates, whatever updates he has. So we'll hang out here. Y'all got any other AMC, GameStop questions? Keto, fitness? Anybody else in the same situation as me trying to reboot your fitness? I know it's kind of odd doing it in June. You're wondering, why did I not do it on January 1st? My knee that has been injured for the last 9 months just recently was in the all clear. So now I'm doing these 5-mile runs without any pain. So I can't wait to get it under a barbell and see how it does. Robert says Chance Daily is live and answering questions. Nice. Is she on her own YouTube or is she on a space call? Let me know. If she's on a space call, I'll loop it in. She's been really focused on Tesla and Elon Musk. I have a hard time getting her answering my questions right now. You know, she covers a lot more than AMC and GameStop. AO says, I thought keto and cardio was no bueno. Look, that's a good point, AO. Right now, the reason I'm doing strict keto with the cardio is to force my body to become fat adapted and burn the fat that I have 20 pounds that I need to get off. And it's all on my belt line. So the reason for the strict keto is you can just calorie restrict. You could do that. But if I'm feeding my body carbs, then it's going to utilize those carbs first, and I want it to burn the fat. So I'll do a couple weeks of really, really strict keto while I'm getting the cardio going, and then I'll switch to a more relaxed keto. Like if I'm doing a heavy barbell day, I'll have a bowl of Irish oats or a serving of brown rice. I have no problem with that. Also, when my body is back down to a reasonable body fat percentage, you don't want to know how bad it is right now. I'm like at least 10% higher body fat than I was 2 years ago. Sing Long says, you want to beat the shorts, go see a movie and buy concessions. Amen, brother. I'll tell you, like my own personal plan, we're planning on seeing 5 movies in the next 20 days. I've already got 3 of them booked. They're on my AMC app. And the other 2, The Blackening and Elemental, I did not pre-book those because I think that the 3 that I have booked, I don't think my wife wants to go see. The Blackening and Elemental, I think she will want to go see. So we'll go do those one weekend evening, and I don't think that they're going to be sold out. The other thing, by the way, if you didn't see it, AMC announced that you get double points on Wednesdays if you're a A-list member. So all my movies are booked on Wednesdays. This Wednesday, next Wednesday, and the last Wednesday. So I still support the company, but I get double points. Kryptonian says he's back on fitness recovery after injuries and illness, and the starting over is maddening. Yeah, it is tough, man. The first 2 weeks, you got to have iron willpower to push through the pain. The pain of trying to start running again. Son of a bitch. I hate it. I like running. I just hate the getting back to being able to run the 5 miles again. Even getting to run 1 mile is a pain in the ass. I probably should stop the cigars and the vaping too. It's not helping, I'm sure. Pam says, I can't find my honey food dog. He was here earlier, Pam. Have I ever tried MCT oil? Yeah, I have some. I have the Bulletproof brand. Studied it extensively. I've done testing of multiple formulations of MCT against coconut oil. Yeah, put a lot of time into MCT oil. Scientific experiment, research, personal experiments. And it is Bulletproof, right? The brand, the high-end one. That's some good shit. Bulletproof coffee in the morning, some hot coffee, a little bit of MCT oil, and some butter. If I have that in the morning, I won't even need to eat till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google bulletproof coffee. And if you go buy MCT oil and you've never tried it, I'm going to give you a caution. Do not do a full dose on your first day. Trust me on that. You'll be running to the bathroom in about 30 minutes because that shit will run right through you. Start out with a quarter dose and see how you tolerate it, then move up slowly. Hakan Berglund says rebooting with carnivore within a month or so. I've done carnivore for 2 weeks before. I have no problems with it at all. I usually eat a little bit of greens, spinach, arugula, whatever, just with my normal keto, broccoli, asparagus, low carb, good fiber, extra vitamins. 70 to 100 milligrams of THCA isolate. I have not tried that. All right, I opened up in a tab so I can check it out. Woo, 7 miles of paddling. Holy shit. Thriftaholic. That is some work. I took Scarlett canoeing on our river that runs through the center of downtown. And it's a river, obviously, so there's a current. And she was all like paddling as we're going downstream. Da, 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 da. And then we went a long way, and then we had to turn around and go against the current. And boy, she wore out quick. And I had to paddle that damn thing by myself the entire way back. That is a workout. Rowing, paddling, great, great exercise. Grandpa Barney says, sounds like colonoscopy time. I'm at that age, Grandpa. I'm 6. What are you supposed to be, like 50 the first time you're, have to get that checkup? I'm 6 years late. Hopefully I'm not dying, Grandpa. Hopefully I'm not 6 years into dying and don't know it. I need to bite the bullet and get that done. What's up, Gorilla Grodd? My funnest kayaking trip was a multi-day trip we did through a system of lakes in Sweden. We had, I think it was one canoe, not a kayak. It was one canoe, and we packed the tent and all the food and shit like that, and canoed through. I don't even know where these lakes were in Sweden. Set up camp lakeside and then continued on the next day. But it was mostly, we weren't fighting current the entire time. So that's the longest canoe trip I've done. Obviously much younger back then. Hakan Berglund, yeah. I spent a summer in Eskilstuna. Got to visit Stockholm. Got to visit the northern part of Sweden. They had a cabin up there. Got to go over to Oslo, Norway, and see that beautiful city as well. Good times. Is an inflatable stand-up paddleboard equivalent to a board? Are you asking me that? I don't know. I would like to buy a paddleboard. That is, man, very popular activity here. You go out on a sunny day downtown, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people hanging out on paddleboards. Yeah, Hakan, I wish I could remember what town their little cabin was in. I remember it was a good over an hour, 90-minute drive from Eskilstuna. The other things that stand out in my memory, there were no electricity and no running water. It was like a summer getaway cabin. So the refrigerator was a hole in the ground. You're probably familiar with this if you live in Sweden. A cement round hole with a lid on it. And it was cold enough, even in the summer, to put all the milk and eggs and stuff in there. And the water was a pump, one of those old-fashioned pumps for taking your shower or washing your hair or whatever. And that shit was so cold it burned. Devastator says, you've seen that genetic mutation that affects humans where they look like they're bodybuilders, but they don't work out. Can't produce enough of a protein called myostatin. I have not seen that. So what are you saying? I should we ingest a myostatin blocker? I will never look like a bodybuilder. I can look like a fit soccer player. That's about the best you're going to get out of me. Who has seen Transformers? And what do you think? Who's seen Spider-Man and what do you think? I talked to a friend, I won't say who said he walked out of Spider-Man. Too much flashing lights. And no, he's not my age. Obviously, a lot of people like it. I haven't seen it yet. Transformers is the next movie I think that I have on my slate. Let me double check my tickets. Yeah, I'm seeing Transformers this Wednesday, The Flash on the 21st, and Indiana Jones. That one I have on June 29th. That's not a Wednesday, is it? I think that's a Thursday, the first day you can see it. Yeah, it's not available on a Wednesday. So I guess maybe I'll see one of those other ones that's on our list of 5 on the 28th. Or maybe Spider-Man. Broke Ape says he bought the Transformer bucket and left. Our Baglio, thoughts on, are we going to have a rate hike? I think if you have to ask me right now, I think that yes, we probably will. I want to see Oppenheimer. Did you guys see, Anya, that it's 3 hours long? And do you think a 3-hour showtime is going to hurt Oppenheimer? I pray that the film, I feel like if someone is making a 3-hour movie, they must be pretty proud of it. So proud that they couldn't leave shit on the cutting room floor. So I'm hoping that it is overwhelmingly good. I got no problem with the 3-hour movie, personally. You got to, the industry does not want 3-hour movies. So if that director insisted we got nothing to cut, I hope he was right. Does it have an intermission? I don't know. I hope I can have a beer by then, because I will intermission myself to go get a refill. Oppenheimer cast. Yeah, what is that dude's name that is on Peaky Blinders? I like him. He's a good actor. I'm ready to rewatch Peaky Blinders. Such a fucking good series. What is the last movie you saw that had an intermission? I can't remember. I know, Anya, in my youth, way back when, there was probably some, but I can't remember. Kryptonian said, just saw Transformers. It was okay. Had higher expectations than I should have. I'm going in with low expectations. For me, it's just going to be a way to kill 90 minutes, hour and a half, 2 hours, however long it is. I found the first one or two fascinating, and then it was kind of like Jurassic Park. And how much Fast and the Furious? Like the first one or two are great, and then it just kind of gets repetitive. However, that being said, to support my company, I will be going to see Transformers. I saw that, Doc Zeno. I saw that in the preview. They thought that potentially it could end the world, but they took the chance anyways. The Great Race had an intermission. But getting back to Sing Long, or whoever that was that said the comment earlier, yes, seeing a movie and especially buying concessions right now in Q2 is the single most important thing you could do to support the company, more so than buying the stock. You've probably got enough stock, but every dollar you spend goes to the bottom line and helps boost that earnings per share, which we want a beat. And I know that sounds like, oh, he's just peddling AMC. Look, if you enjoy movies, there's a lot of great ones out right now. And in my humble opinion, that is far more better use of dollars to get the entertainment and to support the income statement than buying additional stock. You're probably already loaded up on risk. We don't know what's going to happen. That's all uncertain. You've got enough stock. If you want to buy more, knock yourself out. But I'm choosing to spend my money on entertainment and supporting the income statement. That's just me. And I spend a lot on concessions. Right now, because I'm on strict macros, the only thing I can eat is at one theater. They've got a really, really nice chicken Caesar's salad. That's going to be it. That and a Diet Coke, or maybe a bottle of water. Yeah, Anya, that one item, that is the only thing I can eat. Or I could buy a $15 package of $7 beef jerky. Devastator says he bought 6 billion shares of AMC. Got the Excel spreadsheet to prove it. Yeah, I seen old Al's proof of ownership. Hey, babe. I'm live right now, but we're about to wrap up. What time is it? 11 o'clock. She just came home from the grocery store. She's like, I need a drink. Why are you teasing me like that?
This would be teasing you, maybe.
Oh, no, that kind of teasing I'll take. Yeah. Lifting up the skirt. All right, guys, we better end this live stream. I guess Massalorian's not going to get his stream back up and running, and my wife is back home, and we've hung out a good fair amount of time. And what day is today? We still got tomorrow. So resist the FUD. Ask people for evidence. Don't just let them get away with asking questions. Don't let them get away with asking questions. Ask them to provide you the answers. I should not be the one to always provide the answers. Honestly, it makes me look like the bad guy when a real good due diligence researcher should ask the question to himself and go research the answer and then bringing it to you. Other than that, I'm going to keep on calling it FUD and emotion-based and unnecessary more than anything else. Feel free to drop me a comment. Thank you, one and all, to everybody who's tuned in this evening. Masses, mods, my mods, members of the channel, viewers, subscribers, we appreciate you. We appreciate the great questions tonight. And Mass already talked to me earlier today about wanting to do a live stream tomorrow. So we will see if we can make that happen for you. And any questions that you have, if you're watching this on replay, drop them down in the comments below. Thank you much. And this stream may stay up still on Massalorian's channel. I don't know if it's still up or not, but I'm going to go ahead and close it out on my side.